Back, Shalligators. Welcome back to Vlogmas, where we're gonna try, hopefully, to do a video every day in December. I think I've already missed one. I put some like new retinols on my face and that didn't go well, so I definitely had to stay off camera for a day or two. But we're back, and we're talking about news that was out like 3 days ago, but you know what? It's fine. It's still relevant. Demi Lovato saying she's no longer California sober, aka she can sort of drink and smoke weed for sure. No, she's like, actually, I'm just sober. California sober doesn't work. Really? Oh my God. Really? Oh, I just need to take a minute to catch my breath. I need to walk around the room with my hands over my head. Woo, trying to catch my breath over how surprised I am. We're going to be talking about this, and more importantly, what we can learn, right? Because Demi is a clown, the they clown show, I call it. And no, I'm not going to be referring to Demi's preferred pronouns. I'll explain why in a minute. But we're going to be talking about what we can learn. Yeah. How to stop attention-seeking behavior in yourself. We're going to talk about what drives this, and most importantly, when we're dealing with someone who is just like drama queen, attention, holding us emotionally hostage? Are we dating someone who's always threatening to kill themselves or something like that, or threatening to walk out or go back to their ex? What do we do when people are kind of fighting dirty? I'm going to talk about it. We're going to reference some psychological studies and yeah, just untangle this whole hideous rat king brought to us by Demi Lovato. But before we get started, just want to remind you that you can head on over to my website, shallonlester.com, and click submit a question. If you need help one-on-one, I answer your questions. I write like a ton. I'm such a blabbermouth. Or if you want a little video shout out for a friend, yourself, a Christmas gift, anything like that, head to Cameo and go ahead and book me on there. And if you need a little present to yourself, or if somebody in your life wants to give you something fantastic, come with me to Costa Rica. We are doing a Shalligator trip to Costa Rica the end of May over Memorial Day weekend here in the US. It's a week-long trip. We're going to be doing like hiking and yoga, not too much active stuff. Like, don't worry about it. Tons of photos. I'm bringing a dedicated photographer and a dedicated yoga teacher. Lots of cocktails, Shalligator workshops, a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to be really fun. So click the link in the bio for all of those good things. All right, let's talk Demi. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be calling her they. Shallon, like, you can just not like her, but you should respect her pronouns. I don't respect her at all. Her pronouns are the least of her worries when it comes to me. I don't respect her, full stop. Respect is earned. Only a clown gives respect to everyone. I mean, I give a form of respect to everyone. I give politeness. I'm very courteous and very polite to people until they're not polite or courteous to me. I'm not a turn the other cheek kind of person. Why would I be? Why would anyone? Why should anyone be? Because what we permit, we promote. If some cashier at CVS is taking her bad day out on you, guess the fuck what? That's not going to fly with me. Run that on the chick behind me in line. If your boyfriend is acting like that, also not going to fly here. Try it someplace else. And that is sort of the theme of this video, like how to stop permitting and promoting bad behavior. But we'll get there. So no, I'm not going to be calling Demi they. In fact, I'll probably be calling her it. She wants different pronouns? That's funny. I'll come up with my own. Since we're all just making things up and reinventing the English language, you have pronouns to choose from. You have him and you have her. You have two. That seems like a decent amount. No, I have to choose they. Why? Because I remember. Because I'm queer now. Oh, was I engaged to a man this time last year and said he was my soulmate? I'm going to love him forever. Oh, no. How dare you bring that up? Because I'm queer. Don't you know that? I don't even have a vagina anymore. I just have a they down there. What's a they? I don't know. How dare you ask me? I'm queer and I'm special and important. Your genitals and where you put them are the least special and important thing about you. I am bisexual. I've hooked up with a lot of girls, even more guys. I don't talk about it a lot because it doesn't fucking matter. It's, again, the least interesting thing about me. One of my gay besties and I, hi Michael, we were talking about how we don't like Pride Week and we don't like go to the parades. And it's like, I mean, I'm proud of so many things I've done, but like who I have sex with is like, if anything, I'm the least proud of that. If like, I know, like, it's just not how we define ourselselves. And I think it's really sad when someone is making their entire personality about their pussy or their wiener or where they put them. Put your genitals wherever you want. Literally nobody cares. Maybe your weird grandparents do, but The rest of the world doesn't. We're not asking. We're not asking. So get over it. But this is just part and parcel of Demi's pathology of endless attention seeking, right? And if the theme of this video and if the overarching advice is what you permit, you promote, so stop permitting and promoting bullshit drama attention seeking behavior, yeah, I'm gonna walk it like I talk it and not call her they. Sorry. And when people are like, you know, they want to call everyone an ist, you're racist, sexist, transphobic, ist. What do you even call that kind of ist? Your pronouns ist? You can't call it an ist because it's not anchored to anything. It's literally not anchored to anything except for attention seeking. But Demi is back up on her bullshit. Now, we've talked about Demi a lot. We've talked about her terrible haircuts and what. And I asked you guys on my Instagram, like, what's the topic here? And someone was like, no one sober would have that haircut. What? You guys are just, I don't even deserve you. You're so fucking funny. Let's read some of the other topics because they're so good. She's trying, Warm-Blooded XO, one of my fan accounts, said she's trying so hard for attention, I swear. Where's her trophy filled with heroin? I mean, what is she? It's so true. It's like she's so desperate for attention. It's like, why? What is the prize at the end of the rainbow? Yeah, Dita said no one who's sober gets that haircut. Oh my God. How to prioritize mental health over fear of missing out. That's really good. And you know what? I think we are going to do that one. I'm sorry, I'm fussing with I'm sorry. Well, I think we are going to save that for a full-on video topic later in the month because, you know, it's Christmas time. There's a ton of FOMO. And like whatever your goals are, like my goal right now is being healthy and losing weight and like not drinking. I don't drink anymore. And so it's hard. It's like I have FOMO and I want to go out and I want to do all these things. It's like, but I also really want to look good in my bikini when I go to Mexico for New Year's. Like so it's hard to balance that out, but we'll talk about that. How to stop attention seeking and validation. When you lie for attention and can't stand being out of the spotlight of your own life. Let's see. How to admit you were wrong. Why we lie to ourselves. How to step back from always seeing yourself as the main character. This one was amazing because Demi went to Paris Hilton's wedding. Did not know they were friends. And Demi like posted photos from the wedding. You know who wasn't in any of the photos? The bride, the person who invited her, Paris. It was just like Demi. It's like so happy for Paris. Here's me. It's like, if this doesn't say it all, man, if this just doesn't say it all about Demi Lovato, like it's someone else's big day. And yeah, Paris gets plenty of attention. We know that. But it is still her wedding. And most people, like, yeah, post yourself at a wedding and your look and your fit and whatever, of course. But maybe just throw in a picture of the bride in your like 10 photo carousel. No, Paris didn't make the cut. Got it. Someone else said, oh, if you're sober, you don't have to announce it every second. People who are sober actually just do the work. This is true. And this dovetails nicely into Demi's explanation of all this. Let's go to the tape. In a simple Instagram story on December 2nd, she announced, I no longer support my California sober ways. Sober is the only way to be. No fucking shit, man. We've talked about Demi's like, and the reason I have no respect for her, I mean, amongst a myriad, is that she doesn't really take this whole drug addiction that she has very seriously. Well, Shallon, she's talked about it. She's gotten attention from it. That doesn't mean someone's taking something seriously. If anything, it can often mean the opposite. Like one of you guys pointed out, sober people actually just do the work. We all know people who are like, you guys, I'm getting in shape. I'm going to get in shape. I went to the gym today. Do you know that I went to the gym today? It's like, okay. Meanwhile, someone else is just up every morning, grinding, working out, drinking the protein shakes. Hustlers move in silence because you don't have enough bandwidth to brag and to achieve. They're diametrically opposed. You only have so many hours in the day, so much energy, so much focus. Are you going to talk about what you're doing? Or are you going to actually just do it? Results speak for themselves, right? There's nothing more frustrating. I'm an author. I'm a 2-time published author. And there's nothing more frustrating than people are like, well, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book too. You know, I sit down at my computer every day and I'm like, just write 3 pages. I'm like, okay, you're never going to write a book. If you do write it, you're never going to publish it. Like, this isn't going to happen. I wrote my book in 6 weeks. You know why? I didn't fucking talk about it. I sat down and did it. Demi doesn't do that. She doesn't walk it like she talks it. She only talks it. Ain't no walking. And we have seen this demonstrated because when she did her documentary, I forget what it's called, Dancing with the Devil, who even fucking cares? She was showing off her house. And in her house, you know what she had? A shroom room. This is a woman who almost died from, what was it, heroin? I just lose track. I assume it was heroin. A heroin overdose. Spent like weeks in the hospital, like had seizures, strokes, her organs were shutting down. She comes home and in her sanctuary, her environment, that she has the money to decorate however she wants, she makes a drug-themed room. It's supposed to like mirror like the energy of being on a mushroom trip. You ever watch My 600-Pound Life? Right? I do. I don't know, because I have weird eating issues. So I'm like, don't be this way. Don't do this to yourself. I know, I'm in therapy, okay? But if they went out and bought cake after cake after cake just to look at, I'm just going to look at it. I just like having the donuts here in my kitchen. You'd be like, you ain't never losing that weight, honey. You're not taking the doctor's advice seriously. You're not taking any of this seriously. This is a game to you, whatever. I think the stakes are just as high for someone who is more likely than not gonna do drugs again. I mean, maybe not now that she's realized, yeah, smoking weed is still drug. Maybe she has turned a corner and she's like getting the fucking memo that this is literally a life or death situation, but priorly, no, she hasn't. And so she hasn't earned my respect, you know? So it's like the pronouns are just the fucking beginning. So she like made a song. Just a few months ago, she released a song dedicated to a friend who died from addiction, and she donated the proceeds to the Voices Project. This is the article. A self-described grassroots recovery advocacy organization. Now, what in the hell does that mean? Grassroots recovery advocacy the only word I understand here is grass. I live in Montana. I see grass all the time. Maybe Demi thought it was like marijuana, so she's like, I know grass. That's a word for grass. And okay, so this article pointed out that when she said she was California sober, which again means that you smoke weed, because I guess that's a big thing in California, we don't need to be doing what California's doing, okay? I'm from there, and they're kind of going off the rails. Like, just secede from the union. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Just like bye, we're walking on out. We're our own country now. That's cool. So Elton John was like, bullshit. Lala Kent was like super offensive. Like, California sober is not a thing. She got a lot of negative response. So Demi said that she would probably never go into details about her recovery again. When I do get into details with people, it just kind of opens myself up for more scrutiny than I need. She said in an interview, while discussing her song called California Sober, that related to her documentary about addiction. And then she makes an announcement, nobody asked, on her Instagram that she's no longer California sober. But no, she's not going to talk about it anymore because it's just too much scrutiny. So you guys, I'm not talking about it anymore. Just in this song, many of these songs, the whole album really, this documentary, the new song I wrote for my friend who died of addiction and I'm giving the proceeds to an addiction thing, and all over my Instagram. But excuse me, don't ask me about it. I don't want to talk about it, except like I said in these 10 links, which you can find in the bio. Oh, and let's not forget that Demi is now making a line of vibrators. I really can't think. I can't even get my snark out. It's like, is there anyone I want to think about less when I'm horny? It's Demi Lovato. Why don't you just make a line of vibrators with our mom's faces on them? Or like our dad's name engraved to the side? Like, is there anything I want to picture less than this? Again, it's just you pussy. And look, I promote vibrators on my website, they're not like the Shallon model. But it did give me an idea. I'm like, I feel like I could. Now I want to do my own line of vibrators. You got one, girl? I want one too. Okay? dude, I'm getting laid more. I mean, okay, I'm older, right? And I've boned more people, boys and girls, Demi, right? If we're going toe to toe on that, guarantee you I've got you matched in both categories. So I do feel like more of an expert. So I feel like I have more of a reason to have my own line of vibrators. But let's pivot away from vibes. Oh, her alien thing. I can't even go there. I literally can't even go there with her alien thing. It's just, her brand is mess. So let's talk about attention-seeking behaviors because it's, oh brother. I'm actually going to put a video up maybe tomorrow, the next day. Oh no, tomorrow we have an Evil Week bonus video. You guys excited? We're going to talk about con artists. Yeah, so that's coming tomorrow. Is it coming on Pearl Harbor Day? Yeah. Is that an accident? No. You know I love history, and you know I always tie it back to war. So here we go. So maybe the day after, we're going to do a video because I need your help with something, dealing with people who never shut the fuck up. Well, wait, but it's part and parcel of attention-seeking behavior, right? And we have dealt with folks like this in our family, at our office, in our sorority, and a lot of times in our interpersonal relationship. That's the closer the relationship, the worse it gets, right? Because close relationships are deemed more elastic. I mean, is your mom really going to cut you out of the will? Probably not, right? Is your sister actually never going to talk to you again? She might be mad for like 48 hours and then she'll get over it. So we know this, and we are in many ways our worst selves around the people we love. And they in turn are super shitty around us. But there's a way to deal with this. Okay, first of all, we know you can't change what you don't acknowledge. So let's talk about this first of all from the point of view of when you are the attention-seeking one. And then we're going to pivot to what to do if you're dealing with someone who's attention-seeking. Now look, I'm a YouTuber. I talk for a living. It's not even a conversation. It's just bleh. It's just a monologue. It's an endless monologue. So if anyone knows about attention-seeking, I dare say it's an influencer. I get it. And we talked recently about narcissists in a video and the psychology behind narcissism. Because I've said that one of my, therapists called me famously a narcissist with a lowercase n. And I was like, I see where you're going. And I think that's really true. And some of you guys very sweetly have said, Shallon, you're not a narcissist. You're just very aware of your own needs. I like you. Do you want to come live in my house and just compliment me all the time? That would be great. But this is true. There are some positive traits to narcissism. You're aware of what you need. No, I need this. I need that. I'm not getting it. Blah, blah, blah. But narcissism is rooted in low self-esteem, right? It's just icky to think about. So go back to our video on narcissism. I forget which one it just was. Was it Kim and Pete? I don't know. It was like literally within the last week. You can't miss it. Sorry. When Vlogmas happens, like I just do so many. I'm like, time is a flat circle. I have no idea. But one thing we say, but extreme narcissists don't know or care the difference between positive and negative attention. And what does this remind us of? Children. This is how children are supposed to behave, right? They're testing their boundaries. They're learning how to do life. And they're like, okay, mama doesn't pay attention to me if I say, mama. So I'm going to scream at the top of my lungs here in Coles and she's going to pay attention. Yeah, she's going to be mad, but she will give me those goldfish crackers just to shut me up, right? Now, we also know that a good parent is going to be like, shut the fuck up. Or you can be like, okay, we're leaving the store. And of course, this is all easier said than done when someone's having a tantrum. But that is, how you need to parent is not giving into that shit. Fine, what do you want? I'll buy you whatever. Just shut the hell up. That's going to create a monstrous adult. How do we know that? We've dealt with them. And maybe the monstrous person you're dealing with who needs attention had a parent who had 5 other kids and they just had to give into these tantrums because they didn't have the bandwidth to deal with it. Maybe they've got low self-esteem. Maybe they're a chronic bully with actually very high self-esteem. Bullies have high self-esteem. They do. A lot of times because they're psychopaths, and psychopaths truly believe they're better than everyone else because they're not so dumb that they feel all these emotions and guilt. It's like the plebs who are burdened by things like empathy. They're just above it all. So they're going to do whatever they want in the world and just suck the air out of the room and suck the life out of everyone else. So if you find yourself in the dark of night, maybe admitting that you do need a lot of attention, why? When I think back on the times that I didn't feel like I was getting enough attention, it's like, it's obviously, well, not obviously, because maybe this isn't it. It's a social occasion where it's like I was being ignored at a party, or I was being ignored by a guy or many guys. And okay, so there was one time this is the least relatable example. I am so sorry. I was partying with the Boston Bruins after they won the Stanley Cup, and I was like literally drinking $100,000 champagne out of the Stanley Cup. It was so much fun. But like, I didn't feel like guys were paying enough attention to me. And it's not that they were just like partying and having fun. They were just paying attention to other girls, ugly girls. And I'm like, the night ended up like fine. And then I was dating someone after that. But let's say you're dealing with a drama queen or king, because God knows guys do this too. It just makes me furious furious when I hear from you guys and you're like, my boyfriend says he'll kill himself if I leave him. I had someone say that to me. I was like, then do it. I'm going to book club. Bye. And he's like, oh! I am not held hostage by this shit. No. Because you know who takes a hostage? A terrorist. And I don't negotiate with terrorists like America herself. I don't abide that from my country, and I don't abide it in my home and in my heart or my friendships or even in my family. Don't fucking threaten me. I'll call your bluff. Because even if the outcome of that threat is horrible, I think it's just as horrible to permit and promote that behavior in someone. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to tolerate it. And when we do, we're giving that person what they want. Control. Let us read from the scripture, aka an article by a doctor, Barton Goldsmith, he's a PhD, and he's wearing orange sunglasses and a silver tie. He's a spicy meatball. But he wrote a great article on attention-seeking behavior, and he said something very interesting. If you tolerate a bad behavior, you will simply encourage it to continue happening. Yes, setting a limit on a person, boundaries, who can go ballistic at any moment is scary, but that's why they do it, to keep control. So now you have to neutralize the situation, not by controlling it, but by not participating in it, but by not participating in it. This is really important, and I think that's an excellent distinction. You're not trying to control in the same way they're controlling the situation. You're going to neutralize it. You're going to snuff that out. You're not actually fighting fire with fire. You're fighting fire with water. Boom, we're done here. How do you do that? Literally, an excellent way to do it is leaving the room. Walk away. Now look, he points out something that I think is also an excellent point. It is not healthy to just walk out of normal arguments, normal interpersonal relationship squabbles, debates, conversations. No, that's not healthy. And in fact, that's terrorism in and of itself. Like, to ice someone out and to give someone the silent treatment and to stonewall them is literally a form of abuse. Many psychologists categorize it as such. And if it's ever happened to you, it is terrorizing. It's awful. And it just means that you're dealing with someone who clearly doesn't want to change. So that's not what we're saying here. We're not saying that if someone is sharing their truth and trying to have a discussion, you're like, well, bye-bye, drama king. Even if it means they're heated in the moment and they're emotional and they're upset, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about patterns. And like, again, you kind of know this when you see it. Or you know what? Actually, if you're young, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. I mean, data is amassed over time, right? So maybe you don't. But what you can look for, the red flag, is a threat. If you do X, and X is almost always a boundary. Whether that boundary is keeping something out or in, keeping something out, no, you're not going to come over if you're on mushrooms. I'm sorry, Dylan. Or keeping something in, no, I'm not going to get book club just because we're official boyfriend-girlfriend now and you want to watch Game of Thrones or what. No, that belongs to me. This is staying within my boundaries. This is staying within my real estate. What is a boundary? It's like a fence, right? You build a fence around your house. You're either keeping something in, like the dog, your car, your possessions, or you're keeping enemies out. So think of it like that. A threat is part of attention-seeking behavior, you know? We also see attention-seeking behavior in, like, drama. Like, everything is a fiasco. I've told you guys, I dated someone, and it was just, he was the most dramatic person because he was raised that way. Like, his parents didn't pay attention to him, and he could never be like, Mommy, I have a cut on my finger. It's, I have gangrene, and I got bit by a poisonous spider. It was, everything was on 10 all the time. And he just normalized that. He carried that into every single thing we did. Everything we did. Babe, could you go get me a latte? Yeah, I'll run in and get it. Oh, the barista said this, and then there was almost a fight by the Splenda packets. It was just, and I normalized it. I permitted it and promoted it. It's like, he's just a storyteller, you know? He sees vibrancy in the world. Or, wow, yeah, I mean, hey, we live in New York. Life is dramatic, blah, blah, blah. Finally, when I woke the fuck up to what this behavior was, like how toxic it was and how controlling it was, I stopped permitting and I stopped promoting. Now you might be thinking, well, wait a minute. How would he telling a story about a barista be like controlling? Because you know what I did when he was telling a dramatic story? I listened. I paid attention. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And he learned. He was a very clever person. He learned that holds my attention. And that if he can add an element to the story where he's maybe a victim, this Uber driver was trying to cheat me, and babe, he was going 110 on the BQE, I swear to God, and my seatbelt wouldn't work. Oh, wow. That's why I'm late for Valentine's Day dinner. And you know, that's why I didn't make a reservation. I mean, I couldn't even get my phone out. I was just trying to hold on for dear life. This is actually a story he told me. And I'm like, oh, whoa, I'm just so glad you're okay. And he gets the memo. Okay. Next time I need to lie. Next time I'm not filling my responsibilities as a boyfriend. Next time I'm doing something shady, which he did. He was cheating on me relentlessly. This is the card I'm going to play. Drama. I'm going to create distraction over here. Boom, bang, bow, wow. So that she doesn't really see what's going on over there. And if I can add in this element of pity, it's just a little secret sauce that makes it taste so good, right? Then, I mean, there was no way I was going to start asking questions. There was no way I was not going to believe him. Wow, Shallon. So I guess I just should have died in that Uber. No, it's fine. Next time, I'll just die. I'll just open up the door and roll out of the Uber. That's what I'll do, because that's what you want. And you're like, okay, it's gaslighting, it's control, it's manipulation, and it is not something we actually have to tolerate. Like I said, when I finally realized this was going on, and even after he stuck around in my life, you know, after we broke up, and when I was like, bro, I've got no skin in the game now, I'm not getting laid. So this like sheen of sexual attraction that was the thing that blunted your bullshit edges is gone. And now it's just the glaring reality of who you are, spiky edges and all. I am the great nail file. Let's put it that way. I'm just going to sand your ass down. I stopped permitting and promoting. How did I do that? I would sometimes call him out. Like, you know what? I don't think that happened. That didn't work so well because then it was the gaslighting. Wow. You know, I read the tweet, no one says wow longer than a man who's guilty of doing exactly the thing you were accusing him of doing. Wow. They think if they can extend it, their brain can come up with an excuse. So calling out doesn't always work. I simply disengaged, or I just moved completely around that topic. So what you're saying is you don't have a reservation for tonight. Well, the Uber, I was like, no. So where are we going right now? What am I dressed up for? Well, okay, give me 5 minutes. I'll find something. Thanks. When we can avoid taking that bait, the bait stops being effective. I know a lot about bait. There's a lot of fishermen out here in Montana, and believe me, they never shut up about it. I am neutralizing a situation that has no benefit for me and only a benefit for them. And it's very important to remember that we don't always have to know what that benefit is in order to disengage. Because it took me, and with my ex, it's like, well, why would he lie about the weather? Why would he lie about an Uber driver? Why would he lie about a barista? What's the point? You ain't need to know the point. It doesn't always matter. Why did they wheel that big ass horse into Troy? Why did the Greeks give us that big horse? I don't know. Who cares? Bring it in. How'd that go? We don't always know the end game. It doesn't mean that there isn't one at play. And we have to step back and be like, I don't like these tactics. If an end game is positive, if an end game is love and closeness and connection, it's not going to feel like coercion. It's not going to come with threats. It's not going to come with hating your boundaries and benefiting instead by you having none at all. It's not going to be flash bang bamboozle. It's going to be more even. So just because you don't really know where this road leads doesn't mean it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't mean there's nothing at the end of it. So you owe it to yourself to step back and be like, I'm not doing this. Don't you threaten to kill yourself. Fine. I'm going to book club. Have fun putting your head in the oven. I'm going. Bye. You want to come? You want to have a realistic discussion, a real heart-to-heart discussion about why you're feeling the way you feel? Fine. You want to act like this? No. Bye. When you're training a child or a dog or a man or yourself, every single school of thought goes back to consistency. 100 times out of 100, this behavior elicits this response. You clean your room? You're a great kid. Good for you. You throw a fit in Kohl's, you don't get the Kohl's cash. I'm raising a dog. Consistency is like the bane of my existence, right? You're tired, you don't care, you're just like, fine. I won't go to book club. Jesus, I can't even deal with you. I know it's hard to do this, but that's what the attention-seeking person is counting on, is your fatigue. They're just wearing you down. They're the velociraptor testing the fence, right? So, children are hardwired this way. So are puppies. That comes standard on kids and dogs. Why are you telling yourself it comes standard on relationships? On siblings, on friends, on coworkers, on boyfriends? Well, Shallon, I can't control these people. I mean, they are who they are. That's true. But you can control yourself. Are you? Or are you permitting and promoting? And putting up boundaries is like a sliding scale. Like in some circumstances, it's very easy to put up boundaries. The guy at Jiffy Lube, I'm putting up a boundary. Your boss, a lot harder. Your mom, even harder still. But hard does not mean impossible. And you know what's really hard? Living with the feeling that you've breached all your boundaries. That you're just this land octopus, spineless and goosey, just laying there, vulnerable to any attack because you permitted and promoted this. The good news is it's never too late to start. It's never too late to wake up and be like, you know what? That was then, this is now. There's a new sheriff in town. I'm sorry, Mr. Haverford, I'm not coming in on the weekends anymore. My schedule's changed. I'm going back to whatever. My body can't take it. I'm sorry. Well, Shallon, what if I get fired? What if you stay at a job that doesn't respect you? What if you're held hostage by this corporate terrorist, by this romantic terrorist, by this familial terrorist? What then? Yeah, the consequences for standing up for yourself, for walking out of that room, whatever that room might be, could be grave. But I don't know, man. I think the consequences of staying are overall worse. Go back to the kid metaphor. Go back to the dog metaphor. You let a dog chew up your purse, he's going to chew up all your purses. You let a kid throw a fit in a store, he's going to throw a fit in every store forever. So what's easy in the moment is not what's good for you in the long run. We know this about eating. We know this about spending. We know this about washing and bathing ourselves. If I never had a shower again, I'd be delighted. But I'd be lonely, right? We know this. We cannot tell ourselves that a dynamic and a truth that applies to literally every other category of our lives forever, throughout the entirety of human civilization, well, somehow I can't do it in this category. No, I can't do it with my sister. I can't do it with my sister. Even though it's that way with food, hygiene, dogs, pets, blah, blah, blah. No, I can't. Ask yourself, why not? Why? You're afraid of the consequences? Congratulations to your sister. She's won. That's what she wants. She wants the control. She wants you to be afraid of her outbursts. That's why she keeps you on your toes. It's a great tactic. It really works. How do you feel? How do you feel knowing that that person has you by the balls? It sucks. And listen, it's going to be hard to defeat the big boss. Like put up the boundaries with your mom, put up the boundaries with your boss. So start small. Start small. Start with the guy at Jiffy Lube. Please don't move my seat back when you move my car. Little shit. Stand up for yourself. Practice it. Practice makes perfect. And boundaries and standing up for ourselves and speaking our truth and making no a complete sentence. No. I don't need to explain why I'm not wearing that. I don't need to explain why I won't get this injection or why I won't go to this party. I don't need to. No is a complete sentence. Practice it. Practice it in times where the stakes are low and then work your way up to when the stakes are high. Because then the breaching of those boundaries, their drama is going to feel so incredibly out of place. Excuse me, Dad. I don't abide this. I don't abide this. You're in my house for pizza. Please don't speak like that. No. Well, then I'm going to leave. Okay. I'll call you in 7 days. And not before then. I love you, but no. Sorry. Have a safe drive home. What would your life be if you stood up for yourself? It would be scary. It would be lonely. You say, I wouldn't have anyone. Really? Do you really think so? You'd have me. You'd have the Shallon. You'd have the respect of other alpha females, and you would have the respect of yourself. And one thing I've learned from being 500 years old and going through all this shit, of course, the hardest of hard ways, there is no worse feeling than being mad at yourself. It is torture. You don't deserve that. Take a look. If you are one of the attention-seeking people, why do you need this control? Do you think people are going to leave you if you don't have them by the balls? Usually, baby girl, it's the other way around. Look around at your life. Do you want to be an emotional hostage taker? Do you only want people around who are there under duress because they're too afraid to stand up for you or to you? But probably for you too. They're not your real friends. They're hostages. Whether you're on the side where you're seeking attention too much or you're permitting too much attention seeking, it kind of all circles back to being afraid of being alone. Isn't that weird? But if you can say, you know what? So I'll be alone. So maybe, worst case, I'll have to spend Christmas alone. So I won't have a date to winter formal. So I'm going to be like sitting at the lunch table by myself for a few weeks until I make new friends. Go down that path of the worst case scenario. Get comfortable with it. Make love to it. Make it your best friend. And realize it actually, first of all, probably isn't likely at all. Probably isn't likely at all. And if it is, you will survive it. You're already surviving something really shitty. Either constantly needing attention, which is exhausting, or constantly being around people who need attention, which is worse. So you're already doing stuff that you don't like, feeling isolated. Maybe make it in service of something better. We're going to be back with more Vlogmas. I forgot who we were even talking about this video. Oh, Demi Lovato. Yeah. Oh, and she's like, I'm not going to talk about my drugs. I'm just going to talk about it with my management team. Maybe just be alone for a little while, girl. Maybe you don't need a team. Maybe you could just be an army of one. An army of they. You already have plurality and you're already more than one because you're going by they, and that's what it means is plural. So you're not alone. You can't even be alone in your pronouns. She needs Jesus. I don't know. A Hindu god maybe? Are the Hindus better prepared, better equipped to deal with someone like her? I don't know. Don't come to the pagans. We have problems of our own, okay? Thanks. No one really believes in the pagan gods anymore, so we're just trying to keep it together. We don't need Demi. For more, click like and subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow with more Vlogmas. I've got questions for you guys. Oh yeah, we have an Evil Week bonus. We're gonna do some